guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to come on here and do this highly requested video for you guys about my immigration story. So stay tuned for that. I'm just gonna say I apologize for being up in you guys' face. I'm at a higher level than usual right now. I hope you guys are having a happy quarantining going on, and I have nowhere else to go, so I thought I'd throw in my big ass hoops that I got from PLT. So anyways, I will jump into the vlog, but before I say anything else, I'm just gonna get you guys to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't liked my channel already, what's happening? We're the Shaney mob. Like, if you want to be a part of the Shaney mob, just go ahead, click like, click subscribe, and just turn your notifications on for my videos, because when I do pop up once in a while, you want to know what I'm bringing to the table. You want to know what I'm bringing, period. So just subscribe, okay? It's that simple. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you really doing right now, okay? Anyways, all right, so I don't know how to go about answering a bunch of questions. I have some already that I have right here, but I'm just gonna go about telling you guys a couple of information that I know based on the route that I took to immigrate to Canada from Jamaica. Obviously, I'm Jamaican, like, period. Obviously. So first, if you want to immigrate through school, there's many ways of immigrating to Canada. There's through work, there's through school, there's through sponsorship, and a bunch of other ways that I probably don't even know some of them. But it's very important for you to do your research on what type of route do you want to take when you want to immigrate. You want to go to school or vice versa, blah blah blah. So I chose the route of school. So I did that. If you're going to choose the route of school, this is the only route that I have experience with. This is the only route I can talk on or speak on, whatever. So you have to basically do good in school. If you haven't gone to school and you haven't gotten your CXCs or wherever you're from, if you haven't gotten good grades, basically, you might want to like put that up on the notch, because you have to have good grades in order to immigrate, because you have to transfer your credits to well, not your credits, you have to transfer your educational status or your CXCs or whatever you have, 2 credits for Canadian education. So you want to make sure that you're doing good in school, you have good credits going on. So first of all, do good in school. If you're graduating, or if you have graduated and you're already in university, or if you're in high school and you're thinking about coming here, it's the same thing. You just have to transfer your credits or your CXCs or whatever diploma, degree you have, that you just want to basically turn it into Canadian credits. So how can whatever you have as a qualification work here in Canada? There's many different websites. If you Google, you could find a bunch of them where you can go on there and you can submit your credentials. I don't think they take photocopies, so it's like a risk that you have to take. I actually had to send my whole CXC papers, not knowing if I was going to get them back, okay, to Canada to get them evaluated. That was a whole, like, it's a worrisome experience, but if you want better for yourself, you have to take risks at some point. So I went ahead and I took that risk and I submitted my papers to, I think it was, I can't remember the name of it. There's so many, like I said. If you guys want specifics, you can always DM me or message me or comment under this video. Actually, if you comment, I could probably give you guys a few specific links, or I'll put them in the description. So after you've already done changing over your credits from Jamaican or Caribbean, whatever, to Canadian credits, then you could go ahead and you could go online and apply to a college or apply to a university. You can stay in Jamaica and actually do this. You just have to get your you have to get the results back that you were trying to change to the Canadian credits, and then you have to use that information. You have to apply for schools here in Canada or in the States. I'm going to speak on Canada because that's what I know about. So you have to use that information and apply for universities or colleges here. You can do that from Jamaica. I did it from Jamaica as well. So basically you just go on their website and you just click apply for admissions, and whatever requirement they ask you to do, you just have to submit them from Jamaica to the school. They'll evaluate it and they'll see if you get in or if you don't. I don't think it's that hard to get into, because I got into a bunch because I did really not exceptionally good, but I did great in school, always have, and I did good on CXCs as well. So if you do have a couples like 1s and 2s and like a couple 3s I think in CXCs, then you should be good. Because also the educational bar here in status, like we're in Jamaica and the Caribbean, we're like here and they're like a little bit lower. So it's like it's hard for you not to pass even high school or not to graduate high school here, because it's like, what are you doing with your life? Like, how did you not graduate high school? In Jamaica is like graduating high school is not an option. It's what you do. You graduate high school. So everything's different here, but first and foremost, what you want to do is have good grades. So after doing that, then you could apply for college. I'm just gonna look for a bunch of other questions that I have. Oh yeah, so do I need to show proof of funds when applying for a study permit? First of all, after you're done getting your things into like Canadian credits now you gotta go ahead and you're gonna apply for a study permit or a study visa, as well as a work permit and work visa. But if you're applying for a program that is co-op is considered a program that you might have to work in the field to get experience. If you're applying for something like that, which I did, then you will go ahead and you apply for both your work and your study permit at once. And if you get it from in Kingston or wherever you guys get it from, I know I got mine in the mail from Kingston, obviously. Once you get that, then you're able to travel. And if you need, there's no question of if you need funds, because on your paper of application, you're gonna have to put somebody there to say that you're gonna be with them in the country. They have this much X, Y, and Z money that you're able to have access to. They're basically sponsoring you. So on top of you coming here to Canada to have an education, you need to have a sponsor. So a sponsor is basically somebody who they can go to if something happens to you in the country, which is obviously by law and obviously makes sense. If something happens to you in the country, they can have held them accountable or have them pay for your debt or your whatever that you've created. They're basically putting their lives and their whatever they have, money and whatever value, and on the line for you being here in Canada. So it's like they're your sponsor and anything happens to you, they're responsible. So you want to have a person like that in Canada. I wish I could tell you that there's another way of going around it if you don't have anybody like that, but I don't know of another way, because that's how I did it, because I had family here. Thank God for them. So I had family here and that's how I got to do that route. But I think you can also do it on your own if you have enough money available in your account. Like, I'm pretty sure, because the whole idea of you coming here and not having money is really scary, because a lot of people come here and they take advantage of the system and they don't want that to be happening. So what they do is they ask for somebody here to sponsor that person. That way they know you're being well taken care of. So if you don't have a sponsor, I think if you have enough money, and you'll know how much your tuition is, because you can obviously go online on whatever college or university you're applying to, and you can see how much money that admission is to get into that program in like Canadian funds. And all monetary payments are made in Canadian dollars. It's like 99 cents for one Jamaican dollar or something like that, I think it is. So go ahead and research how much money you'll need, because for sure if you're in a different country, you want to make sure that you have more than you need, and be aware of how many years you're planning on staying in school, or how many years your program is going to last. That way you have enough. What else is here? So do I need to take English tests to prove to move here? No. For studies, if you're gonna do study-wise, I know for work-wise, yes you do, but for study-wise, if you're gonna come here for school, then if you're coming from an English-speaking country, your stuff already is gonna be in English. If you're not coming from an English-speaking country, then I think you have to get those translated, blah, 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 blah. I don't really know what happens down that road, but if you're already in Jamaica, you don't need that, because every document is already in English. However, if it's in French, then you're gonna have to get a translator to translate all your stuff for you. Is study permit required for short courses? Entering Canada on a whole requires a visa. I think you can have a study, don't quote me on this, I think you could have a visitor's visa. No, actually you can't. I was gonna say I think you can have a visitor's visa and study, but you can't, because those are two different things. You need to have a study permit and you need to have a visitor's visa. So you can't just come here on a vacation and go to school, because at the end of the day you still need a study permit. So it doesn't matter how long the courses are or how long the school period is, you need a visa and a study permit. A study permit and a visa is basically they're the same thing, they're just different names. You need that to basically enroll in school. It doesn't matter if it's a year or 2 years you're studying, doesn't matter. Is it possible to come to Canada for a pre-study visit? You could come on like a visitor's visa, but as regards to like actually going into classes and stuff, you need a study permit like I just said. So, and also if you apply, like I know that I applied for school in September and my stuff came through from like June. So they give you ample time for you to come to the country, get familiar with where to go for school, get your shopping done, whatever you need to do. So they give you a lot of room time to come and get prepared, go to your dorm if you're going to a dorm, whatever. They give you enough time to come and settle for school by September. I know that for a fact because they did that with me. Let's see what else is here. There's so many questions, guys. I want to stay on track because I want to give you guys a guideline of me exiting high school and then coming here. So if you guys already know, I mean, some of you guys already know my story. So after high school, then I went to grade 12, and then after grade 12 I did the whole Canadian applying for university college thing, and then I came. But I just want to break down the story of the immigration process because that's what this video is about for you guys. So that's why I want to find some very important questions. Is it possible to work during studies? This is very important because a lot of people come here and they either run out of funds, or they don't have enough funds, or they have enough funds for starters and they don't have enough. It is very important that you have enough because at the end of the day, after studying here, you can go on and do your permanent residence, but you cannot do your permanent residence if you break some of the laws. And some of the laws are you cannot work more than 20 hours a week, I believe. So you can't work and say you're going to work and send yourself back to school because at the end of the day, you're being tracked with your SIN number, and they're gonna know. They're gonna know that you're overworking. At the end of the day, you're here for school, you're not here to work. If you're here to work, you need to get a work permit. Not one that's a co-op work permit, but one that's specifically for working. And I don't know if you can get that while studying because it's a heavy visa to have, basically. So yeah, you can work, but you can't work more than 20 hours. So whatever you're working, like I used to work while studying, but whatever I worked, I used it for like transportation, I used it for like school, clothes and food at school, stuff like that. Because basically you're coming with the expectation that your payments are already covered and you're just coming here making petty money. Basically petty cash. Like you're just coming making extras to go through school. So you shouldn't come with the intention like you're gonna be working to go to school because that's not acceptable, sadly. What is the procedure to apply to study in Quebec? I don't know anything about Quebec. Quebec is like their own country, their own, it's a province, but it's not because it's like their own, yeah, Google it. They're their own person over there. Nobody knows what happens with that. And if you're gonna try to come here for Quebec, if you speak French, then obviously you would have to do your research because they have their own government body for like this whole immigration process. I can't speak on them for study because, like I said, they're their own province / country, pretty much. How much does it cost to study in Canada? Like I said, tuition fees varies on what you want to come here to study for. I would say bring as much as you can. And I always tell people this and they're like, well, that's not specific. Well, guess what, honey? If your program costs like 20 G's, okay, and you have like 60 G's, and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna bring 20 because, or I'm gonna bring 30 because I'm gonna use 20 for school. No, bring 60. Bring 60 because you don't know what's gonna happen. Bring 60, okay? I'm telling you, because you know what can happen. You could be staying with somebody and you fall out with them. You could be in a rut and you have no money. Like, it's better have it than to not have it. I'm telling you from experience, because having it here is better than having it in Jamaica. And how exactly you're gonna just go on a plane with cost like $500 to go down to get money from the bank, or somebody can send it to you, but like, do you have somebody down there that you could actually trust and you don't want them to know your business? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so bring all your money. Always bring at least double the amount that's needed for your studies. I'm telling you from facts, okay? Is it possible to stay in Canada after graduation? Yes, it is so possible to stay in Canada after graduation. So I want to talk about after I got here with the whole immigration process and everything. Then I started school, and then I finished. So after your visa is all done, you have to legally still be here, but your visa expires. So what do? You apply for an extension. So that's what I did. So you apply for an extension after 2-3 years of how many years you're here for studying, and an extension actually gives you the ability to stay here legally without running around and hiding and stuff, being here in the country, working and earning money. So at that point, you're no longer a student, you're on a worker's visa slash temporary visitor's visa. So when that is expired, you're expected to go home unless you're qualified to stay here and apply for your permanent residency. And there's many different ways, many different streams. There's like temporary foreign worker program, there's like express entry, there's like people that are needed for truck drivers, there's like the nanny program, there's like the living caregiver program. There's so many programs that if you do well in school and you come out with some type of degree or diploma or something, you could go ahead and even ask those people or whoever you find a job with to sponsor you. So you could go ahead and say, oh, can you guys basically, not to sign your work permit, but basically you could do your permanent residency through your work. So they're basically saying that, hey, she has a job. They're basically making whatever statements you have about having a job valid. So they're validating all the circumstances of you being able to stay here and provide for yourself. Yeah, she's a job, yeah, whatever. So they go ahead and they do your whole work permit through work. So basically you no longer have an open work permit, and you guys can Google this. Now you have a work permit that's closed, and your work permit is closed to work with that specific company or whoever you got hired by. And they, after a while, they can file for you to be here permanently and legally. So you want to come, and in the middle of school or in the middle of almost finishing school, you want to research, what do you do? What are you going to do after you graduate? That's always a plan to have. You always want to know what's your next plan. So what I did was, after almost graduating, I want to know, where do I find a job? What job can get me to have my permanent residency? So there are specific jobs that you can and can't work because they're either too low of type of a job, and they're either too low in like payment value, like how much you get paid, or like if it has nothing to do with what you went to, like you can't go to school for marketing and then at the end of the day you're working like in a hair salon. I mean, unless you're doing accounting for the hair salon, it doesn't match up. It has to match up because it has to justify that you went to school and you're actually using your credentials to better yourself and the country in general. Okay, so how do what you went to school for matches up with whatever, right? So what you want to do is, before finishing school, find out where you can get a job. So what I did daycare. So my diploma is social service work, so I can work in like daycares and like homes and like long care homes, stuff like that. So I went into daycare because I know that getting permanent residency, I can get it easier because I'm already working in a field that needs me. I'm already working in a field that my employer can basically sponsor me to stay here, and that's important. If you think that you're gonna come here and you're not gonna get along with anybody, don't come. Don't, because at the end of the day you're gonna need to not bow down to people. You're gonna need to have an understanding with other people. So if you don't get along with people, you need to learn, because I had to learn. Like, you have to learn, you have to find a common ground, and you have to get along, because at the end of the day you're gonna need those people, and honey, they know that you need them. They know that you need them, so yeah, you just have to do what the fuck they want you to do. So go in, do your job, always build a relationship, always leave positivity behind wherever you go, because you want people to have something good to say about you, because these people can call whenever. If you're applying for a permanent residency and the immigration office decides to call to validate what your story or for your work, you want them to have positive feedback. So you want to have and leave positivity wherever you go, for sure. So as I was saying, after that you get a job that makes sense with your credentials, and that type of job is what's going to help you to have your permanent residency, because you're going to apply through that stream of having the job and showing like, hey, I have a job here, I have a reason to be here, I have education. And I did express entry. So express entry, if you guys Google it, it's more based on your age, what you have to bring to the table, what, like, your job, your education, your English, like how well you speak English. So I know a lot of people in Jamaica, like they still have the Pt.1 accent, and they have, like I have a Pt.1 accent. Obviously, you guys can hear it. Like what? You guys hear this accent like back there. You already know that it's accent there. All right. So it's there, but basically you have to do your whole English test. So you want to make sure that you practice your English. In fact, you should practice your English from high school. I know that when I went to school and I socialized, I never speak English, but in my family I spoke standard English because they're like that. So my whole impression of school and my whole impression of home were always two different things, because they always travel. So I can't be the one that's talking like the bag of English and then I'm ended up moving soon. So you have to practice. Start practicing. I would say start practicing before you come here, okay? Because it's very important. People think that you have to twang because you want to be high. No, you have to twang because you have to get by. You have to live. Like you have to have a job. Like, hey, twang isn't get me paid. I'm a twang. Like period. Like I don't give a right. Okay, so practice your English, because English is a strict and important part of coming here. Either English or French. If you speak French and you're in Jamaica, high five. I never learned English or the little Spanish but in that teach me from grade 9. Never stuck up as well. Never stuck. I know me regret it. Alright? Me do person know me I try to learn French. Me do person know me I try to learn English. And me do person know not learn English, but me I try better me English, and me I try learn Spanish. So you see, if me do Spanish in high school already, I feel I do 3 different languages. But me, they know where me I go, they know what me I do. Until 11th grade, when I'm like, yeah, I gotta get out of here, right? So it's important for you to better your English. Don't listen to people. Do what's best for you, honey. Do what's best for you. Improve yourself. So do your English, because that's a part of it. That English comes in though when you're applying for permanent residency. But we're still at the area of what do you need to come here. So like I said, I did have a few questions about how much does it cost to study here. You guys can go online and see how much your admission cost, and if you're going to be doing boarding, you got to calculate your boarding as well. Okay, so I just went on here and I just saw this. So when you're applying for school, you want to make sure that it's a DLI, which is a designated learning institution. And those are like legally can say like, oh, you're legally a college, like a part of Ontario. I'm in Ontario, so I can speak on Ontario, not any other province, unfortunately. But everything's on Google. So if you guys want to go to like Manitoba, or you want to go to Calgary or wherever, there's information there as well. And it doesn't stray far from Ontario. Ontario is just like their own Talawa Island, basically. So what are top universities in Ontario? If you want to go to there's like University of Toronto, there's McMaster's University, there's University of Waterloo, University of Ottawa. Everything's online. There's also good ones as well that I haven't mentioned, but they're either like in like smaller areas or whatever. For some reason the internet didn't give me that. What are the top colleges? They're all there. They're all there. Do your research before you come here. What are the health care and insurance options for school? So I know for school, well, not for school, but in Canada in general, having healthcare is mandatory. I think you get it. Not I think you get it, but you get it as a part of your arrival. So when you come here, you can apply for your healthcare benefits. A lot of people actually come to Canada just for their healthcare benefits, because you go to the hospital, you don't have to pay anything. You already pay taxes. Well, I already pay taxes. Hello. I don't know about anybody else, but you already pay taxes. It's just a part of your healthcare system. So basically you have this card that you go in, and if you're sick, you just show them your card. You're already registered and everything. So for people that are wondering, if I'm coming here for school, do I need to bring extra money in case I get sick? You can actually come and apply for healthcare while you're here. But whenever that expires, that's it. You got to go home, or you got to apply for an extension, or whatever your case might be. Okay, so that's that for insurance and health. Well, can I drive while in school? Yes, you can drive while you're in school. You're basically like a normal person. You like, people can't look at you and be like, oh yeah, she's an immigrant, or oh yeah, she's not from here. Like, you could basically do whatever everybody else is doing except for voting, basically. So what I did was, I graduated from college. I used to take the train, whatever, And then I got this job and I'm like, I can't take the bus like so far away, okay? Like I don't want to quit this job and get another one because I need it. But at the end of the day, I can't drive. I'm taking the bus, and the bus is like, by the time you get off, you're tired, you're exhausted. You're going to work and you're tired already because you're taking the bus. So it's like, yeah, you could go ahead and learn how to drive. What I did was I saved enough from my part-time job, and then I applied for my driver's license. So after you're applying for your driver's license, then you have to take your learners and people have to teach you how to drive. And after that, you got to do your G, which is like the highest level. And then I had to do my G, which means that I get cheaper insurance, blah, 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 the whole thing. So yeah, you could actually go to, because people are here driving from high schools. Like there's kids here that drive to high school. I mean, it doesn't happen in Jamaica because we don't get shit till like we're 18, but kids here are driving from they're like 16. So yeah, you could drive to school, but like I said, you want to bring enough money and have a support system here where you won't run out of money if you want to take that route. I didn't take that route until I graduated and I was making my own money and I could pay for my own car insurance, because with a car comes the insurance, with a car comes the monthly payment on the car note. There's a lot of factors that come into getting a car. So I would not recommend rushing into getting a car unless you guys have money like that. You know, if you have the money like that, that's a different story, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not like, that's it, don't worry about that. That will come after. Everything comes to, you know, what's the saying? Good thing comes to those who wait. Yeah, so no rush, like you'll get that done for sure. But other than that, there's the bus costs like what, I don't know, like $4, which is like, how much is $4 in Jamaica? I don't know, but it's not a lot. So yeah, basically you can take the bus, which is what I did. So I don't want to stray too much because I was talking about school, but I also have a bunch of stuff here talking about how to dress when you come to Canada, whatever. I think I might leave that off for part 2 because this vlog is already long. But I really wanted to focus more on what to do leading up to getting on the plane to Canada. So first, what I would recommend is doing good in school because you need that marks. If you're already out of school, then you basically use the credits or CXCs that you have or credentials that you have and turn it into like Canadian credits. And then you could come back to get your master's, you could come back here to get like your diploma, or you could come here just to go into college initially. But you always have to have good grades and you always have to change it back over to Canadian credits, period. So after you do that and you're here and you're on the plane, you go to school, you do good in school, you always have to keep your grades up, because if you're in college and you fail like a class, like if you flunk a class, you basically have to take it. I remember I took a certain class and then I wasn't doing well in it because I don't know what was happening, but for some reason your girl was not focused, okay? Like there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of stuff going on that will keep you unfocused. I'm just saying. So that happened, and then I had to get my ass and drag my ass to summer school, okay? I had to go to summer school when everybody's out, all my friends are out. I had to go to summer school because I cannot afford to, say you get 2 years and the 2 years on the dot, you have to be done. Like I cannot be waiting to do whatever I failed after 2 years. Like that's a whole nother study permit like nobody has money for. Like come on now, that's crazy. So I had to use my summers to go back to school to get whatever subject I flunk. So you want to make sure you're on top of your game. Don't get distracted. You focus on what you're here for. Focus on what you need. Like at the end of the day, it's all about you. Like people around you, distractions. Focus on you. The moment you come and you're in school, if you fail school, that's it. Like that's it. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna go back home, or you're gonna run up. Some people don't go home, they stay here. Don't do that. Like that's a lot of stress. Like who wants to go through the whole idea of thinking people are watching you and you're paranoid? And everything here is a system. Everything here is your bank card. Everything here, your photos everywhere. Everything here is connected to your health card. You cannot be in this country without a health card. You cannot be in this, not health card, but without health care. Why be in a country when you can't get sick and you can't go to the doctors? Why be in a country where you can't drive because you can't get pulled over because you don't belong, because you don't have your proper stuff? So what I would recommend is do not flunk or drop out of college, because at the end of the day you're gonna that's dropping the ball. We can't, like, hello sis, we can't afford to drop the ball. Like we're working here, we are working here. You cannot afford to drop the ball at any point, at any given time. No. So do good in school, graduate school and after school, then that's when you go ahead and you do the express entry I was telling you guys about, which I'm going to go more into, and I'm going to go more into like making a link with my life and my story and try to give you guys a better understanding of what happens with that area. That's the part 2 that I was going to tell you guys. But for most of the part about my immigration story and coming here to Canada from like high school, I think I've answered a couple of questions. I don't know if I'm missing any. Like I said, you guys can always comment and reach out to me. I am more than happy to answer your questions. And let me just see if there's anything else that I want to like let you guys know, because I feel like I have to look out for my brothers and my sisters down there. Like I look up, not even just in Jamaica, because other people are watching my videos, but I feel like if you're coming to Canada, you want to know what's up. You want to know, like, you want to get a little bit of heads up of what the place is like. Like, it's amazing here, it's safe, all that good stuff. Everything you see that's good is true. Okay, it's a good place to go to school. I would not, I mean, I wouldn't go to the States and all that, but I would come here, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the kind of the same advice I'll give you. Unless you want to go study something different that's in the States, why not just come here? I mean, I'm here, come see me, right? Okay, so I just wanted to find a few more questions for you guys, like, bear with me. Okay guys, so I just went through my phone and I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything before ending this vlog. So basically I get a lot of questions about how do I know when I get accepted? How do I know when I get to come to Canada? Well, they'll reach out to you. Everything is either online or they'll mail it to you. They're very good with that, and I would not get too worried if I don't hear back from them for like a couple weeks. Usually stuff takes months. Like processing your visa will take a couple months. I know that mine took at least like 2 months or 2.5 months. There's nothing to worry about if you have good health, if you haven't done any drugs or anything, or if you didn't forge your documents in order to get accepted into those schools. If you're on the clean cut edge, there's nothing, I guarantee you, nothing for you to worry about, because I did mine. Everything's honest, everything's cut clean, perfect, and I wasn't even worried. Like when I got the mailman calling me like, oh, come pick up your package down the street, you know, like we have a package for you. I'm like, what package? I got it and I'm like, what? This came through for me already, girl? I went home and I went online and I booked the flight. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm out of here. It's crazy. So you'll know for sure because they'll contact you either via like your phone number, or like they'll give you like a tracking number that you go online and you can see like the process of your immigration, not immigration, but your process of your visa. You will see that. I mean, I'm not talking about the ones that you go in and you sit and either you get it on that day or you don't. With a study permit, it's a process. They go in, you send your documents in, they process it, they see if you're qualified, basically stuff like that. So preparing for your arrival, before coming to Canada, like I said, you have to have all your documents. And one thing I know they did with me is they checked everything that I was saying. They sat, like I was in the line and they're like, what college are you applying for? When does it start? How much money does your tuition cost? So you want to be hands-on, making sure that you're not making up anything on the spot, because whatever you put on your documents, they're going over with it. So if you don't remember, I don't know what you do after that, because basically what you say have to match up with what they have in front of them, because if you don't match up, then they think say you lie. So basically it's a good thing that I wasn't lying, that I didn't have to make anything up. So I went verbatim because I know the answer, I know when I started. And for some reason people just apply and they don't keep in touch with what they're applying to or stuff like that. I knew everything to the T. Like she was questioning me and I'm like, this, that, when do you start school? Next week? What is your program about? Social work? Everything. Like you have to know where you're applying to, because basically if you're coming to their country and you don't know what you're studying, then where are you going? Like what is happening? So at that point, when you're at the airport, they'll process your work permit if you applied for one. So you won't be leaving the airport like not having any clue of what's going on. You'll be processed, you'll be told what to do, you'll be told what's for what, and obviously somebody has to come pick you up, so they'll probably have you there until somebody comes to grab you. Everything's a process. You can't go into their country thinking, oh, I'm gonna like go in there and act a fool. Don't act a fool, sis, because they're looking for people that just act like they don't fit in. They're looking for that one person that's gonna cause a problem. Don't let that be you. So have somebody come pick you up first things first, because I for one didn't know where I was. I didn't know where to go. Now I'm just like, what? Airport, flex, gone. Like I already know where to pick up, because you come and you just get familiar with the area. So that's that. So do you need an ETA? I don't think you need an ETA because I think they're giving out ETAs with your visa to come here. So ETA is basically an electronic travel authorization in addition to your passport, but I don't think you guys, I don't know if you need one. You have to do your research. Make sure you do your own research. First things first. Have all your documents, have your passport, everything in one carry-on bag. Don't have them in your luggage. Like I said, I'm not gonna go past the fact of you coming to Canada as yet. I'm gonna do that part of it in part 2. I mean, I already got into a little bit of itty-bitty of it already, but basically that's basically how you come here from high school or from university or from just a working world if you want to come here to Canada via study route. This is the study route. So once your grades are up, that's it. There is also the work route. There's also the other route that I told you guys about, a bunch of other routes, but I can always speak on the study route. But for now, I'm gonna close this video because there's tons of more questions, and this video is probably already like 40 minutes long, and I don't know if y'all gonna watch it. Like, you have to watch it if you want to hear part 2 of this vlog, where I'm going to go in more about working, and I'm also going to touch on a bunch of other ways of coming to Canada. So I know I said I'm going to do the study route only, but I think thinking about it now, I might do the work route, just because I know a lot of my viewers might already been to school. They don't want to go back to school. They don't want to have to sit and learn and have to have CXCs and stuff like that. Like, those days are done. You guys probably even have kids. Like, who wants to go through all that? Nobody. So I'm going to do some research about the work route and try to tell you guys more about that, and I'll also continue from picking you guys up at the airport and what happens after that, what happens in college, how to present yourself, what to expect with the weather, what to expect with the people, how to bring yourself, how to take care of yourself, red flags, all those stuff, because all those stuff still exists because we're still in a different country. We don't know nobody, we don't know what's happening. It's always to have your good sis telling you what to expect, you know what I mean? Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna put my social media over here. I'm gonna put my little subscribe button over here. If you're watching this video and you're watching it this far, just go ahead and subscribe because it's worth it. Is it not? I mean, come on now. And welcome to the Shani Mob. If you're new here, we're here to keep it real and keep it turned at all times, period. Anyways, bye guys.
Yeah, I don't know where she came from, but goddamn, I wanna say some. She a dime, wanna make her mine. Heard through the